Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, we're diving into a heated topic that I saw on TikTok that kind of raised my eyebrows a bit: the role of public education, teachers' unions, and their impact on institutionalized racism. We'll be exploring the controversial views of a billionaire who's stirring the pot with some bold statements. Recently, a prominent billionaire shared his perspective on institutionalized racism and the state of public education. He claims that the abysmal quality of public schools is a major factor trapping people in poverty across generations. According to him, the lack of competition and the influence of teachers' unions are key issues.
If you define institutional racism as conditions that trap people in conditions of poverty across generations, I'd say the abysmal quality of our public schools is number one.
Number one, two, and three.
And the reason is because there's no competition and the unions run it for their own benefit. How long do they shut down these schools for in California? Because they didn't want to work because they're afraid of.
Don't say the C word. We just got a label. God.
Beep it out. We're going to beep it out. We're going to beep it out.
That was not for the benefit of kids, and it wasn't even medically necessary. That was a benefit they saw for themselves.
Yeah.
J-Cal, you come from a family that were members of unions because they worked for fire, for police.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
We speak negatively about the effects of the teachers' unions on our public education system, and I think it's absolutely correct. But how do you share the point of view from the other side? If you're a teacher and you're a member of the union and the union takes care of you, what's the argument to say this union is damaging public education, and the teacher that's working in the union and a member of the union says this is necessary for my livelihood to protect me for my benefit? Help us share the point of view, because we all have the strongly held point of view that the unions are destroying and eroding public education. But what's the other side?
People have the right to form unions. But what we all do is we are forced to be consumers of one educational product because of how we pay taxes. We pay taxes I think in California, we each pay $16,000 into the educational system. And so if you're a parent, you should get that $16K back and be able to choose what you do with it. So there's competition. So the unions can have protection, but there still should be competition for these services.
First, let's talk about the quality of public schools. The billionaire argues that schools in underserved areas often struggle with limited resources, lower funding, and less experienced teachers. These challenges can create a cycle of poverty that's difficult to escape. But here's where it gets controversial. He claims that teachers' unions are partly to blame for the state of public education. He argues that unions protect their own interests, which can sometimes obstruct necessary reforms and improvements. For example, he mentions that during the COVID-19 pandemic, some teachers were reluctant to return to work due to safety concerns. According to him, this fear led to school closures that disproportionately impacted students in lower-income areas. Teachers' unions do play a crucial role in advocating for fair working conditions and salaries. Supporters argue that these protections are essential for maintaining a positive and effective learning environment for students. Critics, however, suggest that some union practices can hinder progress and reform. The billionaire's perspective also includes a call for increased competition in education. He supports the idea of charter schools and school vouchers as a way to provide more options for students and parents, arguing that competition could drive improvement. The billionaire's proposal is aimed at increasing competition and giving parents more control over their children's education. He believes this would drive improvement and provide more choices for families. While the concept of school choice has its advocates, who believe it can lead to better educational outcomes, critics argue that it can divert essential resources from public schools and potentially increase inequality if not managed carefully. So, where does all this leave us? The issues of institutionalized racism and educational inequality are complex and multifaceted. Improving school quality and ensuring fair resource allocation are key steps, but balancing teachers' rights with effective reform is also crucial. What do you think about these viewpoints? Are teachers' unions a barrier to educational improvement? Or are they crucial for protecting educators? And how do you feel about the impact of COVID-19 on school closures at that time? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates.